Some videos was lost, so I have to explain. I cut the goat meat into pieces with the chicken into pieces, then wash and sieve out all the water from it, put in the pot and spice them before I start cooking. I cook the first one, that is the goat meat, because it's the stronger meat, for some time before I added the chicken, then the fish. So look at it, it's almost done. Now it's time to add fish. If you're using ice fish, me, I like using ice fish. So I have to place it on top of it to boil for some minutes, 5 to 10, 7 minutes. So here is my ice fish. I have to wash it and cut it to my chosen size and then put inside the pot. See the fish I've washed and cut it. I have to place it so it will steam a bit before I bring it down for frying. I want whatever is going to come out of the fish to be inside the meat, but I will add a bit of salt on top of the fish, just small quantity of salt before I cover it. Okay, 7 minutes later, you see the fish is done, white. So I have to bring it down because I'll fry the meat, the chicken and the fish. I don't like frying my goat meat. So now it's time for making the stew. The stock is inside here, and the next thing is fry the tomatoes and then add the stock. So let's do it. So to fry the tomatoes, I have to put the washed pot on the fire and let all the water dry off before I put my oil. And in here is my tomato paste and the grounded one with my scotch bonnet and the onions, and then this mixed together, that's the tomato paste. So I like mixing them together in one plate before I fry. So remember what I said. I ground the scotch bonnet, this type, so that it's going to be tasty, and enough onions, tomatoes, and the bell pepper I showed you before. I ground all of them together and mixed my tomato paste. The tomato I sieved, look at the water inside it, is quite much. So that's why I instead of frying, wasting more gas in frying, I sieve it out. So this is it. Let's fry. So first I add the oil, enough oil for my tomato. Boil. And I cut my onions. I let it fry a bit so that the scent of the onions will come out. And I mix my tomato, the onions, scotch bonnet, all the vegetables, all of them, mix them together before I put them in the pot. You see? So now turn it and let it fry. This time you're not covering the pot again, okay? So you just let it fry. This time, if you have deep fryer, you can put your chicken, your fish, and fry them, and then wait to add it in your stew. So, but you make sure you turn the tomato paste all the time so it will not get dried too quickly. Okay, checking up on the paste. Now the boiling is everywhere, both between, around the pot. I have to start adding my spices. So I want to put the curry and the seasoning I have and the cube. So this is the spice I use. Call it onga stew. Most Nigerians love it, so I do. And then this, I have to wrap it and put it inside. I tried breaking it, but it's a bit strong. I know that the heat of the stew is going to melt it. So I turn it and make sure everything synchronizes inside. When you're turning your stew, make sure your hand gets to the under of the pot, like scratch it very well. So I let it to boil for some time. At this time, I now add my salt. Please, when adding your salt, don't do it like I'm doing. Make sure you take it in your hand and then put it to taste. I've already calculated how I pour my salt for a very long time. I've been cooking for years, so please don't add the way I'm adding unless you already know how to calculate yours too. So, but add to taste. So this is after 20 minutes. You see, they are coming together, and the tomatoes is going down. But you make sure you be turning them 10 minutes interval so it will not burn. If it starts burning, you know that your stew is getting ready, but you make sure you be testing them so that you get the right taste you want. As you can see, I've started frying my chicken, so everything is getting set. I separated the chicken and the beef and then the fish. So I'll fry the chicken and the fish and then add them to my stew. You see, because I'm frying chicken near it, I reduced the fire. It's on low, so look at the character have changed. Look at the tomatoes is getting stewed. It's drying. So when you're turning it now, you'll be checking the under if it's burning. If it's burning, you know your stew is ready. You have to test it and you will see the difference between now and before. This is 25 minutes later. This is the stock I got from the meat. Because I didn't add much water, so it's not much. I have to mix it in the tomato sauce. It's like 30 minutes later. I turn it and then now I cover it so that it will boil. Okay, frying the fish and checking up on my stew. Now it's stew. I'll have to add my goat meat first. Add my goat meat, and then I add my chicken, fried chicken. Now it's on the low heat, so I allow the stew to enter inside the meat first before my fish is ready. So now I have to cover it. Allow it to boil for some minutes on the low heat. Look at it, it's ready. The stew is ready. You add the fish, everything is ready. So this is it. So add my spinach and a little onions, just the way I like it. The spinach is optional. If you want, if you like vegetables, you add spinach. If you don't, no need. I just want it to boil a little bit and I'll turn it and bring it down.